Ahorre, no compre sin visitar Emporio.
You know how fast we can go.
Larry on.
Why? And added that these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins.
This is Pod Vomit. I'm your host, Nickelbag Rick, and with me always is Joe.
Hello.
And Justin.
Yes.
Yes, everybody's happy to be here. We don't have Elias with us this week, or ever. He's gone.
He officially resigned from doing the podcast.
Yeah. Apparently, it was... I even said before when we started doing this, I said, I want to see if I can make Elias so mad that he'll leave the show. Just get up and leave, and we know
it wasn't really much of a challenge.
Well,
he
exactly.
Sort of did that in one of the episodes.
So I didn't know that I would make him actually leave the entire show as a part of us. So he has decided to pack his bags, and I've got a text from him the other day saying he was getting on an airplane.
So did I.
Yeah, it's like early.
5 in the morning.
Yeah, I was asleep. I was awakened by Elias's rude Canadian excuses of leaving.
You have to remember that because of his being born on the west side of Canada, that his time is all fucked up.
It's like right brain, left brain.
Like 4 hours.
Is that what foreigners call Canada? Canada?
I hailed from Canada.
Is that like saying you're in Hotlanta?
Right.
What the tourists
Nobody
say?
ever here calls it hot. Where are you going? Well, we're going to
I brought my Maple Leaf flag. I'm in Canada.
We're driving into Hotlanta.
I remember I went to see a concert one time, and there was a friend of mine that had never seen the band. And at the end of the show, I walked up and I said, "Hey, what'd you think of the concert?" And he was like, "It was cheesy." He said, "Hotlanta." And I was like, "That's what
that ruined the whole concert for me."
The whole concert for you.
I was really into it.
Go back and watch the tape and then censor that one part. Would you then like it?
I have to do that with the new Return of the Jedi and the Blu-ray because they put words in where I don't want to hear words, and so now when that comes up, I mute the TV and then hit play again.
What dialogue are they adding? I mean,
they added Darth Vader speaks. There's that really big scene at the end where the Emperor is zapping Luke, and he's yelling, "Father, Father," and Vader is going through this whole, do I help my son? Here, I'm loyal to this guy. Do I help him? And all of a sudden he goes, no. And then he picks up the Emperor and he goes, no! And he throws him, and I was like, you motherfucker, George Lucas.
He never said no, did he?
No. And so when that comes up,
did it sound like a different voice too? It was like, no. It
was like Conan O'Brien.
If it wasn't James Earl Jones, it was somebody that sounded like
James. It wasn't even James Earl Jones.
I don't know. I guarantee by now Lucas has a button on everything that
James Earl Jones button.
He goes, "Hi, my name is George Lucas. This is CNN."
Just press the JEJ button.
I am your father.
Okay, Halloween.
This is a very spooky edition.
Well, I know, and we can't keep talking about Star Wars. We've already done a show.
Okay. That's all right.
I know we're already segueing into Star Wars.
But yeah, this is we're done with Elias and we're done with Star Wars, and we're going to talk about Halloween because it's coming up on Halloween. It's my favorite time of year. It's the best time of year. The weather's great. There's candy corn everywhere. Everybody knows I love candy corn.
I've already bought you about 5 bags of candy corn.
What did you ask for Halloween this year?
Candy corn. It's Great Pumpkin's going to come on with Charlie Brown.
Don't you guys get Halloween presents?
It's
only in Canada.
In the Jewish community? I don't know.
No, they would get Rosh Hashanah presents, I think. That's Happy Yom Kippur. Here's a dreidel.
Here's a jack-o'-lantern yarmulke.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay, so basically what we want to talk about is like our best memories and why we love Halloween. It's different now than it was. I don't know about when Justin was a kid because much younger.
That was only 2 days ago.
He's much younger than we are. But I remember that I would be like 7, and my mom would go, "Okay, you're dressed up. Get the fuck out of the house. Come back in 4 hours."
You come back with a pillowcase full of candy.
And I would be on my own
Kick you out the
for
door.
4 hours. Nobody was holding my hand and walking me through the neighborhood.
As Joe was leaving his house with his costume, he was getting hit in the back of the head with a Jim Beam bottle.
Right.
How'd you know my parents so well?
Is this going to be an issue?
Man, you know what? That sound you hear in the background maybe could be a
Is that
train.
Elias coming to visit us via train?
We're not in Venerio Studios this podcast. We're actually in a depot.
You know what? For the longest time, I thought it was Venereal Studios.
I did too.
I was like, really? He's going to call it? If he wants to call it that, that's fine. But, well, I mean,
I asked him what
I never
Venerio
got chlamydia
meant.
from recording. So
I asked him what it meant, and he said it's like an imaginary land where anything is possible.
I say we
Thing.
leave
Wow.
in the train because it really makes
Aren't you
it
sorry
seem-
you asked? Were you sorry you asked?
I was like, okay, I've never heard of that, but hey, it's your thing, man.
Who is this
Okay,
guy,
so
Michael
Halloween.
Jackson?
I know we're gonna talk
Okay,
about
so
Halloween.
when you went trick-or-treating, Justin, did your mom take you or did you go on your own?
My older brother used to take me, and he used to grumble about it the whole way there. He's like, "Why I gotta drag you around
Did you
to
have
everybody's house dressed up like a vampire? I don't even want to wear a costume."
did you
didn't
have
want
like
to?
No, that's what he
Your
was
brother.
saying.
Oh, I got
did
it.
you
Yeah.
have like store-bought costumes, or did your parents make your costumes? Did you make your costume? You know, like when I was a kid, I remember, my birthday is 5 days after Halloween. That was my original due date, was Halloween. I can't believe I was late.
I always had store-bought costumes.
Well,
no one ever made them.
It
for
went
me.
back and forth. Like I remember one year. Now this dates how old I am, but the costume that I really thought was cool, but it was like the old costumes. Is that paper thing, like the that comes in the box with the mask
with a picture, yeah.
with a picture, and I was the $6 million man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Colonel Steve Austin. But the thing about those costumes that were kind of lame, even as a kid, I used to kind of think, man, why can't I just get like the tracksuit and wear it with the mask? Then people would understand that I'm Colonel Steve Austin, the $6 million man. Instead, I've got this
It's
thing
a picture of the $6 million
with the,
man. It says
and the logo, the $6 million man.
What was the bad guy, the villain from that show?
there was 100 million.
Maskatron was the little figure villain that they made,
right.
and then
Who was more valuable than
his
$6
boss
million
was
man?
Oscar
There-
Goldman.
I
I was
learned
him
that
for
from
Halloween
Royal
one year too.
Virgin.
There was also Bigfoot on the show, played by Andre the Giant.
That's
and
true.
He was a bionic
Sasquatch.
And well, you know what? When I have a
Back
picture,
before his Princess Bride days.
Right.
yes, I actually have a picture, and if I can find it, we'll put it on the website. Where my mom, I was probably about 4 years old, and I was going out trick or treating with my cousin Rick, and he was G.I. Joe, and I was Tweety Bird. And it actually just had a big Tweety Bird on the front of that stupid plastic.
Right, with a
It was
Tweety
like
Bird
one-
mask.
And it felt like, and I
So
remember.
did you guys have to draw straws depending
No,
on
no,
who
I
was,
was-
who was
I
going
was
to have to wear the
smaller.
gay costume that
I was a
year?
year younger.
You
so-
had to wear Tweety, and he got G.I. Joe. Weren't you pissed off? Weren't you jealous?
You know what? I don't remember caring. I remember.
You should have been G.I. Joe.
I remember
No.
being
That's
The name
older.
is in the name.
When I was older,
I gotta
of
be
course,
Tweety.
I was Kiss or whatever, and but
Whole
I
band?
had the same kind of costume.
Did you have like the other members of the band like tied to you like little bodies?
I was the whole
attached to
band,
you?
yeah.
He shaved his head. It was like,
No.
Peter Criss on the left side, Paul Stanley right side.
When I got to choose costumes, I actually chose Peter Criss. I was Peter.
I was
Criss.
Peter Criss one year for Halloween. There's a picture of me as a kid in 1976 or 77. And it's funny, I was Peter Criss and my brother was Gene Simmons. And in the picture, my brother just looks miserable. I mean, he just looks like, I hate this stuff on my face. And I just never want to take it off. I thought it was awesome. But I like the idea of the homemade costume. My mom
too.
my mom actually made a really killer, me and my brother, this killer Batman and Robin costume. We went one year because he was younger. He's 2 years younger.
Which one was Robin?
My brother, Robbie.
Oh.
What?
I said that's good.
Yeah. And I was Batman, and it was awesome, man. And everybody's like, man, where'd you get that? It's like, my mom made it,
That's
But
awesome.
you couldn't use that the next year, because
No,
she was already
grew out of it.
right. That, and, you don't want to go back and be the same character,
I had a friend named James, and his parents were like when he would leave the house, he'd get hit with a Jim Beam bottle on the back of the head.
Oh, okay.
And then he wasn't going to do anything for Halloween one year, so I went into my mom. I went into my mom's dresser drawer and got a really nice white sheet, and she wasn't home from work, and
you played a Ku Klux Klan member.
Yes.
Surprise!
I cut.
Mom, where are all the burning crosses at?
I cut 2 holes in it and put it over our head, and we were a 2-headed monster. We had one arm out, and then the other one. I remember him saying, "I don't know what to do with my arm." I remember I was like, "Just keep it on my dick." No, I'm kidding. It was really weird because he had the right arm and I was the left arm, but both of our heads were sticking out the top of the thing. We went to a costume contest at school and we won. And I remember coming home and my mom going, "I'm glad you won," but that was the sheet that I needed to cover the bed.
Yeah, and now he's got some other guy's jizz on it.
Not only
Cut around the crusty part.
I remember covering the bed with it afterwards.
I can never look at that sheet with a black light again.
It's like I've been under the sheet with another boy.
I never had any really good costumes. They're always like whatever was popular at the time. Like I think I had a Ninja Turtle costume at one point in my life.
3 years ago, you were Barack Obama. I liked that.
I don't remember that, but okay. No,
that
actually,
was the most popular costume the year he was elected.
But yeah, actually, when I got older, that's when I made costumes. Like
Yeah.
I made a Han Solo costume actually one year,
Oh, that'd be cool.
and it was really not that good. I got this belt and taped it up somehow so it would hold the gun holster.
You just gotta.
Did you
So I had all
crooked
this
it? Did you
black
make it
tape.
crooked like he did, where one side was low and the other side was high?
Yeah, I tried to make it so it would drape down. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see me doing this, audience.
Right.
Demonstrating how this belt would drape down to the holster, hold the gun. The problem is the gun I had, because you can't find any good space guns. I don't know.
Now you can, but back then, no.
Well, this is like 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
I was like way too old to be doing this, and yeah, I did it. It was really a costume party. We weren't trick or treating. I was getting.
Honey, let's go trick or treating.
We were drinking in our costumes.
Right, right.
That's awesome.
But yeah. So the gun was just this crappy like 6-shooter gun. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna leave it in the holster. No one's really gonna look at it. So I mean, the costume wasn't bad, I guess. I had these brown pants though that had the stripe going down through
Right.
the side.
Sweet.
So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I can use that.
And the black vest.
You know what always bothered me that they, and I know once again we're back to Star Wars, but I want to bring up the fact that
I had a
hated,
tuxedo vest, actually, is what it was. That's what I used.
I hated the fact that when Lando was captain, all of a sudden captain of the Millennium Falcon, they dressed him like Han Solo.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
you've
was like,
seen
what the
that.
hell just happened?
I know.
He just raided
That's very-
Han's
I
closet.
know. He's like, well,
He won't need it.
He's got
He's
this
frozen in
jacket here in the
carbonite.
closet.
Yeah. No big
Maybe
deal.
I'll be able to get with Leia if I wear this.
I had-
She won't know. I'll sneak in bed one night.
I'll use the force.
I'm Han. I'm the Black Han.
Did you ever get go trick or treating and get to a house where the people were like really into it?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and they tried to scare the shit out of you.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I remember I had a neighbor that like sat in a dark corner in his porch and turned the porch light off, and he was dressed up as a Grim Reaper. And I was like 8 years old at the time, and I thought that was
Hell
spooky
yeah, that's
as
too
shit.
much.
Yeah. They
He's
would.
sneaking out with his little axe thing, and I'm like, oh my god, there's somebody
And you
over
know-
there.
And you notice, like, I mean, I know now in my neighborhood, kids don't trick or treat like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was like a parade.
There was
you know?
1,000 kids. out.
Kids out, and everybody. I mean, there was parents, there were kids. It was just, and it was like an event, and you just looked forward to it. And I just wondered as I got older, did I not notice it? But even when, I had my kids and I took them trick or treating and everything, it just seemed like we would have to go to either other neighborhoods or, because our neighborhood.
There were just dead zones.
Yeah,
that you
but-
couldn't
but,
take the kid trick or treating.
The thing with costumes now with kids, I think they're, they kind of have like a cool advantage because like both of my boys have been like Wolverine or Superman and they'd get like these padded muscles,
Yeah.
so like if,
Yeah.
and like in their arms they had like the muscles and everything in it. Like I remember one year Trey was Wolverine and I was like, man, that is the best damn costume I've ever seen. I mean, nobody can make and it didn't cost but like $24.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
and
nothing.
My Jace just got his, and he's Batman, and it has a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And it's got muscles on it, and it's got. I mean, the only thing that I don't like about it is the the hat. It's like it's like a material instead of
Right, it's not
rubber
plastic or
something like
anything?
that. But other than that, I mean, it even comes with a utility belt.
gosh.
I was like,
amazing.
Paula, how much you pay for that? She's like $19.95.
Yeah.
I was like, get the hell
Well, I
out of
know.
here, man.
I made a
China.
I got a Gumby
Yeah.
costume at Walmart one year for a costume party.
Gummy?
Gumby.
Gumby. I thought you was
Gumby.
like okay. I'm Gumby,
Yeah.
damn it.
It was a Gumby costume. I don't know. I just saw. I was like, that's green and funny. I'll get that.
Was your wife Pokey?
No, this was before my wife.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know her at the time. I was probably like
You were
19 or
Gumby
20.
searching for your Pokey.